Have you ever wondered how Hitler managed to evade capture during the Second World War? His secret weapon was a heavily fortified train. This wasn't just any train, but a moving fortress of steel and secrecy, a symbol of Hitler's power and paranoia. Inside the dimly lit war rooms of Allied forces, intelligence officers would huddle over maps, whispering about this elusive iron beast. "Gentlemen," one would say, his voice hushed yet determined, "our intelligence reports indicate that Hitler's train is scheduled to pass through this region within the next 48 hours. This piece of information wasn't just another report. It was a golden opportunity, a chance to strike at the heart of Hitler's operation. But it was also a dangerous proposition. The train was heavily guarded, its route shrouded in mystery. The officers knew the risks all too well. "We cannot afford to miss this opportunity," one would intone gravely. "We must proceed with caution, but this might be our only chance to strike." Yet there was always that nagging doubt. "How do we know this isn't a trap?" Another officer would voice the concern gnawing at them all. Hitler's movements were always heavily guarded. Their sources, however, were reliable. This train carried valuable intelligence and could provide them with a decisive advantage in the war. As the officers exchanged determined looks, they realized the gravity of the mission. This wasn't just about intercepting a train, it was about capturing Hitler himself, right from under the noses of his guards. "Here's the plan," one would finally break the silence, outlining their strategy. "We will intercept the train at the designated location. Our team will move in swiftly and discreetly." And so the plan was set. The resistance would intercept Hitler's train. Little did they know, this mission would turn out to be one of the most daring operations of the Second World War. The stakes were high, the risks even higher. But the reward, the chance to end Hitler's reign of terror once and for all. Opening. The resistance fighters were ready, waiting in the darkness for the approaching train. As the moon hung low in the sky, the silence of the night was broken by a distant rhythmic clattering. The train was approaching. The fighters, hidden among the trees, could feel the ground trembling beneath their feet as the iron beast drew closer. The air was thick with tension, and the quiet hum of anticipation echoed among them. Among the fighters there was a shared understanding. They knew they were on the brink of an operation that could change the course of history. The mission was clear: intercept Hitler's train, seize the valuable intelligence it carried, and, if the opportunity presented itself, capture the man himself. The train, a hulking industrial monster, belched smoke and steam into the night as it thundered closer. The resistance fighters readied themselves, their hearts pounding in their chests. Their fingers gripped their weapons tightly, knuckles white under the strain. As the train's deafening roar filled the air, the resistance leader gave the signal. It was time to move. With swift and silent precision, the fighters broke cover, their shadows flickering in the dim light as they moved towards the tracks. Each step was calculated, each breath measured. They were a force united by a single purpose. The train, now a mere silhouette in the gloom, slowed as it approached the designated location. This was their moment. With a skill born of necessity and honed by countless hours of practice, the fighters boarded the train. The operation was underway. They moved through the carriages like ghosts, their presence unnoticed by the train's regular occupants. Their hearts pounded in their chests, adrenaline coursing through their veins. The train's rhythmic clatter provided a strange sort of comfort, a constant amidst the chaos. The resistance fighters pressed onwards, each carriage bringing them closer to their target. Closing. They had boarded the train, their hearts pounding with anticipation. They knew that the real challenge lay ahead, infiltrating Hitler's personal car. But for now, they had achieved the first step of their mission, and the train carried them onwards into the night. Inside the train, the resistance fighters moved silently, searching for Hitler's compartment. The air was thick with anticipation. Each creak of the train's wheels, each murmur of the engine, was a reminder of the perilous mission they had embarked on. They navigated through the labyrinthine corridors, hearts pounding in their chests. Every shadow was a potential threat, every sound a potential alarm. It was a game of cat and mouse, played out in the dimly lit confines of this moving fortress. The resistance fighters, these brave souls, had one goal in mind: to find Hitler's compartment. This was not just a train, it was a symbol of the tyrannical regime they sought to overthrow, a regime that had brought untold suffering to millions, and here within its steel entrails they hoped to strike a decisive blow. After what seemed like an eternity, They found it. Hitler's compartment, the heart of the beast. They paused, taking a moment to steady their nerves. This was the moment of truth, the culmination of their daring operation. The door stood before them, an ominous barrier to their objective. The resistance leader gave a nod, a silent command that echoed loudly in their hearts. They prepared to breach the door, weapons at the ready. Their breaths were shallow, their grips firm. The door was all that stood between them and their quarry. With a sudden burst of energy, they stormed into the compartment. The world seemed to slow down. The surprised faces of the guards, the confusion turning into panic, the realization of what was happening. The resistance fighters had made their entry, their presence undeniable. But the compartment held another surprise. A hidden door swung open, and out stepped Hitler, the man himself, the orchestrator of this dark symphony they were all a part of. His smirk was chilling, a stark contrast to the adrenaline-fueled tension in the room. They had found Hitler, but the danger was far from over. Hitler stood before them, a smirk on his face. The resistance leader declared, "Your reign of terror ends here, Hitler." In this tense, heart-pounding moment, the stakes were higher than ever. The resistance fighters stood their ground, their eyes locked on the man who had plunged the world into chaos. Hitler, seemingly unfazed, sneered at his captors, but their determination was unwavering. They had come too far to back down now. Suddenly, Hitler lunged for a concealed weapon, his smirk replaced with a look of desperation. The room erupted into chaos. Gunshots echoed through the narrow train compartment, each one a stark reminder of what was at stake. The resistance fighters reacted swiftly. They fought back, their adrenaline-fueled movements a blur. The struggle was intense, a fierce clash of wills under the dim light of the train compartment. Every second counted. Every move mattered. In the midst of this struggle, the resistance leader showed incredible courage. He charged at Hitler, managing to disarm him. The other fighters quickly followed suit, overpowering the guards and securing Hitler. As the dust settled and the echoes of the gunshots faded, the reality of what they had accomplished began to sink in. They had captured Hitler. The man who had seemed untouchable, who had wielded power with an iron fist, was now in their custody. The train, once a symbol of Hitler's might, was now under their control. The resistance fighters exchanged looks of relief and triumph, their faces etched with exhaustion but illuminated with the glow of victory. They had faced incredible odds, risking their lives for a chance at changing the course of history, and they had succeeded. In this pivotal moment, they had not only captured Hitler, but also seized control of the infamous train. They had struck a significant blow against the tyranny that had gripped the world. Hitler was captured, and the resistance fighters had taken control of the train. The words echoed in their minds, a testament to their courage, their resilience, and their unwavering commitment to the cause of freedom. News of Hitler's capture spread like wildfire, marking a turning point in the war. This was not merely a capture of a despotic ruler, but a symbolic victory that struck at the very heart of the Nazi regime. This audacious mission to intercept Hitler's heavily fortified train was a testament to the tenacity and courage of the resistance fighters, who risked their lives to change the course of history. The world held its breath as the news rippled through the airwaves. From the streets of London to the heart of Moscow, a sense of anticipation and hope was palpable. The tyrant who had held Europe in his iron grip was now in the hands of the resistance, a significant blow to the Nazi war machine. In the aftermath of Hitler's capture, the tide of war began to shift. The morale of the Allied forces skyrocketed, while the Nazi soldiers fought with a palpable sense of dread. The man who had once seemed invincible was now a captive, proving that even the mightiest could fall. Beyond the immediate impact on the war, this daring mission highlighted the power of resistance and the indomitable spirit of those who fight against tyranny. It served as a beacon of hope to all those living under the shadow of oppression, a reminder that no matter how powerful the oppressor, the will of the people can never be subdued. The capture of Hitler's train was not just a military victory, but a triumph of the human spirit. It was a moment that showed the world the power of courage, resilience, and determination. It was a testament to the strength of the resistance fighters, ordinary people who stood up to a regime that seemed invincible. The audacious mission to capture Hitler had been a success. The resistance fighters had changed the course of history. Their bravery and determination had not only led to the capture of one of history's most notorious figures, but had also sparked a flame of hope in a world engulfed in darkness.